Welcome to Bit Socket, and as part of Bit Socket's JRPG month, we're going to choose our top 5 favourite JRPGs.
That's right. Now, before we go any further, we need to point out that it's our top 5 favourite JRPGs, not the best JRPGs, because we understand that would be extremely controversial and probably not true. These are just some of the games that we've played and really enjoyed, and that's why we're sharing them.
Yeah, so we're not asking for trouble in the comments section, we're just saying what our favourites are. And
we'll probably get some trouble anyway.
Yeah, and obviously we're going to be missing out a lot of our favourite RPGs in this as well, and it just shows you how hard of a list it is to make that we had to narrow it down to 5.
That's right, so without further ado,
here we go. Number 5. When I say Phantasy Star, you probably think of Phantasy Star Online, the greatest online JRPG ever made. Well, that's good. It's a fantastic game. In fact, it's one of the most important games of my life. But go back in time a wee bit and you'll find Phantasy Star 4. For my money, the greatest example of an old school 2D JRPG. Wonderful characters, beautiful art, especially the manga style cutscenes, and a deep, rewarding fighting system make this something a wee bit special. And man, just listen to this music. That's one of the Mega Drive's finest openings right there. A decade before Final Fantasy XII introduced the Gambit system, Phantasy Star 4 let you make macros, preset rules of attack that let you manually change everything about a round of combat before you even hit the battlefield. And if you get your macros set up right, you can even use secret moves and techniques that aren't mentioned anywhere in the game. None of this is daunting though. It's got a very modern progression to it, leading you into a grand, enjoyable adventure that we thoroughly recommend you try out today.
Number 4. Lost Odyssey. Now, there'll be a lot of you out there that may not have tried this game, mainly due to the fact that it was an Xbox 360 exclusive, but don't let that put you off. If you do have an Xbox and you've kind of thought, maybe I will give that a wee shot, buy it. You can buy it dirt cheap almost everywhere, and it's a fantastic experience, a great story, lots of content, and that kind of comforting feeling when you're playing a game that you feel like, well, that's what makes it a favourite game. And I loved it. The story is very kind of pleasant, but there's sadness to it as well. The kind of wee side stories, the wee memories you can kind of unlock as you play, they're what made the game for me. And it's got a fucking brilliant soundtrack as well. I highly recommend Lost Odyssey. Number 3. Persona 4. Anyone who's followed anything Bit Socket's done recently will notice that I love Persona 4 because I mention it on a almost weekly basis, and it is genuinely one of my top 5 favourite games of all time. And that's just my list. And it's just, there's so much to it, an amazing, engrossing story, brilliant characters, looks brilliant, great fighting systems. I think if I was to come up with a list of great things in Persona 4, I don't think it would just keep going. It would keep going and going and going, like I'm doing right now, going and going and going. Now, I'll be honest, I've only played the PS Vita version, which for some, they may be, oh, what do you mean PS Vita version? But I loved it. I loved the extra cutscenes, I loved the extra dungeons, all that nonsense. It's a brilliant game. If you get the chance, if you've got a Vita, buy it. If you've got a PS2, track it down. You can buy it for probably about 20 quid, and it's probably not a better RPG experience you could have.
Number 2. The hardest decision for any Dreamcast owner to make has to be this: Grandia 2 or Skies of Arcadia, 2 classic JRPGs that are so difficult to choose between. Grandia 2 has one of the greatest fighting systems in any JRPG, but its fairly standard plot and dungeons mean that Skies of Arcadia gets into our top 5. Skies of Arcadia is such a generous game. It's got this massive, rich, beautiful and enchanting world to explore. The skies are unlike any other game setting. It's no wonder folk clamour for a sequel. And populating those skies are some of the most lovable characters in an RPG. JRPGs often get slagged off for their moody, angsty protagonists, but here the writers have the maturity to give us Vise and Aika, 2 likeable, unflinchingly positive central characters, surrounded by a great cast. Flying about in your own pirate ship, picking up crew members and customising your own pirate hideout, these are the things you dream about when you're a wee kid, and no other game realises that dream so brilliantly. It's a big swashbuckling fairy tale, and it needs to be played.
And number 1 on our list is
No Kuni.
That's right. Now, there's going to be a lot of folks who, what are you talking about? No Kuni? That only came out a few months ago. But
it might be the newest on our list. It is genuinely one of the greatest experiences we've had playing a game.
I think It's. I mean, if you're thinking about what is a JRPG, for some people a JRPG is simply it's a Japanese-made RPG. For other people, JRPG is all about kind of stylistic choices, how the game plays, how it goes. And I don't think you could find a game. I mean, game characters, cutscenes designed by, how'd you say, Studio Ghibli, whatever way I'm saying it the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Cutscenes designed by them. It is the JRPG. And not only that, it's sold really well in this country as well.
No, the thing that I like about Ni no Kuni is it's got the best of a lot of different facets. It's got the best soundtrack, right? Because it's got that beautiful soundtrack by Joe Hisaishi. It's got the most beautiful graphics I've ever seen. That art style, it looks like a cartoon come to life. It's got an incredible world which you just want to explore and experience, and you want to just go through every inch of the map. And there's so many great ways to explore it as well. You've got the boat, you can walk around, and then you get the dragon. You know, it's so cool that they don't do all that, and it's just the characters are amazing as well. Like, I like how it's got that Studio Ghibli charm to it. It chooses children characters, you know, young protagonists who they're fun, you know. You don't have that usual cliched tragic backstory, which is alright in other games, but it manages to kind of transcend that and become something more.
What I like about it is because anyone that's seen any of the trailers or watched the review, Ni no Kuni does have a very sad story at its core, but it's not about characters who languish in that, and in many ways, and obviously we're not going to spoil anything for anyone who's not completed it or got it, it's a story about hope. And actually, that's what, I mean, I'll be honest, I was genuinely touched by Ni no Kuni. But going back to what you're saying, like, the design is brilliant. Like, every enemy character would be a brilliant cuddly toy. Every enemy character is perfectly designed. It's a game where just talking about it, I can feel myself smiling. I can feel myself thinking, I'm sticking that on. It's as close to a perfect gaming experience as you can get, and I don't think there's many compliments I think you could pay more than that.